Did you see the clip of Giannis trying to get extra free throws up? I believe he shot 4
Mm-hmm.
for 15 from the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the game against Philly, he's trying to get some extra free throws up. It looks like some of
Mm-hmm.
the stadium members are trying to. I'm not sure what they were doing up on the ladder, but they had something on the backboard to go get or whatever. He wasn't incredibly thrilled that they were blocking or that they were blocking his hoop, and so he kind of threw the ladder. Montrez came out, kind of stole the basketball from him. Kind of a weird situation. Did you see that? And I'm curious what your initial reaction was.
Yeah. I saw it for sure. My initial reaction was I never seen Giannis be like that because I feel like he's known as like a nice guy.
Oh yeah,
Um, my second reaction is don't do that on the away team's floor, and then you're good. Um, like avoid that situation. And if I would, I don't know. I think Montrezl Harrell's thing was a little extra, but at the same time, like I wouldn't want the away team's player on my floor after the game. Like, go to your own gym and work on your free throws. I think it's one thing, and you don't see this, like, you don't see it being an issue if Harrell's out there. That's his own home court. Like that's not an issue. I saw this comment, I think, on Twitter today. It was like, oh, you didn't see, like, no one's out there, like, blocking him. Well, that player was on his own home floor. So, like, if Giannis was doing that in Milwaukee, he would probably be patient with that person, or that person isn't going to the hoop at that moment to on the ladder, right? You know what I mean? I think
yeah,
it's silly. It's stupid. It won't be a storyline in 5 days. So yeah.
really want. So I'll probably have to clip this one a little bit quicker than all the other ones. But I think this is weird on so many different levels. Kind of like you said, the fact that they're on Philly's home floor is like, all right, Giannis, he kind of there's no real way to defend Giannis in this moment, especially when like you're dealing with like employees of the stadium or like whoever they are. I don't know exactly who they were, but it's like it's not like directly related to the team in that sense. So it was weird to see him kind of like throw the ladder. um, Another thing, I think this is kind of Montrez's thing that he does, similar to some other guys in the league. He kind of brings a little bit of a nastiness to him that like he's a little bit of a likes to mess with people's heads and like one of those players that you love to have on your team but you hate to play against. One of those guys. So it's like, hey, anything to really kind of stack the chips on the shoulder. Like, sure, go
Yeah.
ahead and mess with him. Now we're gonna have a beef for another game like down the line or whatever. So you can kind of basically put that in the books that next time these two teams play, if Montrezl Harrell's on the court at the same time as Giannis, they're probably going to get into a little bit of a chest to chest moment. Um, I don't really know what those guys on the ladder were doing. Some that I forget which coach talked to me about this a long time ago, but um, I really wish I could place him. But there's always this like something that I thought of when I was a player and things that you just kind of hear and learn and understand is like, oh yeah, like I had a really bad like shooting night. Like I really just want to get home, get back to the gym and put up all those shots that I missed. But when that happens, aren't you kind of just showing that you don't really work on that adequately enough in your normal routine? And I'm not going to sit here and accuse Giannis of anything because he's like one of, if not the like best players on the planet right now. Like unbelievable. But it is always weird to me when guys go to the gym specifically after a game to work on that, because like you have an off, especially when it's like a shooting thing. It's like if you just have an off shooting night, and I know free throws are a little bit different, but to me in that moment, you're kind of just saying that you don't work on free throws normally enough and that this one just kind of like sent you over the edge. Maybe you just build it into your routine a little bit more, you know? Like why then? Why that moment? Why on their court? Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe this isn't the greatest example of that, but I that's always been something that's been weird to me of a player like, oh man, I just missed a few corner threes and I really need to get back in the gym and work on that. It's like, are you not working on it now then? Like, do you have to wait until you miss all those to go work on your game? I don't know. Maybe that's not the best example for this situation, but I always find that weird. And maybe that's just like they go to the gym to
I see
clear
what
their
you're saying.
head. And that was something for me. Like anytime I get really frustrated after a game, or I'm just frustrated in general, basketball is a very good escape for me. So like if it's going to the gym and just to escape and like, hey, you happen to be working on your game, great. But if it's like I don't know, it feels like you're trying to make up for lost time and you're like correcting your own regiment. I don't know if that makes sense, but
It
um
makes perfect sense, and I'm indifferent about it because I think that it depends on who it is and what their true reason is.
it's true.
Um, like you said, I think sometimes that's almost therapeutic for players. It also, like, maybe it leaves a good taste in your mouth, like, after, like, "Oh, man, I had a rough night shooting the ball, but, I just gotta get a feel for it again." And that doesn't mean that they won't do something the next day. I also think this might be a little bit of a weird take. I think sometimes it's for show. Like, "Hey, I'm working on my game,"
A lot of cameras in
like,
the stadium.
"I want you to see this, da 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 da." And I don't think that's what Giannis is doing. I don't think that. I think people and players do that though. So that's why I'm indifferent. I think it honestly has to do with like the individual themselves, and no one really knows always what the true reason is. But um, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Overall, really weird video to see, especially coming from Giannis, because we don't really see anything other than him saying his like dad jokes or him trying to like take his teammates' shoes off to give them his new shoes, like funny stuff like that. Like he's just such an awesome character off the floor that was very out of character from what we've seen from the outside looking in.